Know What It Podcast. We are here live and direct to you from the Know What It Podcast mobile studios. I am your host, also known as Mr. Grind Season. We up early. Also known as Big Stick, STICK, Dirty Minded Folks, Sticks Corleone. Also known as Grandmama's favorite grandson. Also known as your sister's best friend. Shout out to sponsors. Dante's Auto Sales LLC, Proper Prints LLC, TK Cuts, TMK Leasing and Transportation. Shout out to them. Phoenix Urban League. Shout out to gyms now. Y'all got to take a walk with me. We gonna take a walk today. I have to write these down. Shout out Jab Fitness, Brandon Spencer, Coach Rick Griffin, Coach King, who's got the coolest name in boxing, and the whole team over there. Or if you're trying to get your game up in any discipline, Jab Fitness. Shout out to Saitan Muay Thai. Be back next in a couple of weeks. Comeback Chronicles Part 7, the final episode coming soon. Shout out to Wilson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I'll be back in a couple of weeks. Finishing touches on my back, cupping and stuff done. Be back in there. Shout out to rest in peace. Got a couple of rest in pieces. Two of my childhood heroes passed away within weeks of each other. So shout out to Groove, Terrence James, who has an event on September 25th at Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. Terrence James is second to none producers and one of the best people in the world I've ever come across. So shout out to rest in peace. He's family, so rest in peace. Also, rest in peace, Ray Hornsby, another one of my childhood heroes who's passed away recently. Excellent football player back in the day. And I remember chasing him around after church, just wanting to be where he was. And rest in peace to him also. 3 questions came through. All good. One of these I didn't want to address. But now we got to have a conversation with the congregation. Thank you for reaching out. There are a few things we has to speak about. Question number 1 was addressed in this way. The WBC has been called out by multiple entities in and out of the sport for their corruptness, for their assistance in PED use, for their assistance in a multiplicity of corrupt things. And you want to know what I think of just the call-outs and recent call-outs. It's a thing on, if you want to update up to the minute information on the hottest topics, you're not actually going to reach out. You're not actually going to find me. Dante's Boxing Nation. I mean, there's a lot of publications, but Dante's Boxing Nation is one. Aki TV, who the person who asked me to talk about this actually sent me the link to Aki, TV, and it's fire too. I like his platform. I like Dante's Boxing Nation platform too. And I'm going to Thailand this year, so I might actually run into you out there somewhere, brother. So to address the WBC's corruptness, I'm gonna harken back to something that I already said before about them, about how corrupt they are and how they do things unscrupulously to favor fighters or fighters that they want to favor. Again with the club, I'm on clenbuterol because there's a lot of other things I could talk about, but there's a lot of other things I could talk about, but this particular strand of corruptness eats at the core of me as a fighter. Eats at the core of me as a fighter, right? Because there's no place for that, even though it happens. There's really no place for that in a sport where you can kill somebody. These guys are trained, unemployed government assassins, or not unemployed, but the government assassin level, individuals who can really, train to kill folks. I mean, they really can kill folks. And they're just prize fighters. And anybody walking into a ring or a cage with the distinct advantage that a PED, a performance, I'm not talking about crack, I'm not talking about weed, I'm not talking about Viagra or diuretics, I'm not talking about that. Anything that can enhance your performance, enhance your speed, enhance your awareness, enhance your power, enhance your ability to take punishment. They need to be called to the carpet, and they really need to be stopped. They need to be halted. And like I said before, I know that the WBC has a very prestigious history of champions, but it's like I said in the previous post, it's about the fighter making the sanctioning body. A sanctioning body is nothing without a marquee fighter to carry their belt and pay their fees. Like, I can name you several fighters who talking about sanctioning bodies, not just the WBC, but sanctioning bodies. I know several fighters who won't even who rather forfeit a title than pay 10% of their purse for it, or 10% of a purse of a guy making $100,000. You need that belt to make more money. 10% of somebody making $100 million is a whole nother issue altogether. So these cats in the WBC in particular, they got a title for everything. They'll create a title for an event and then charge you for it. So no, they're corrupt on a multiplicity of levels, and I've addressed it. So I will say again, they are corrupt on a multiplicity of levels. Just because people are insiders and onlookers are reaching out and speaking out about it, does not mean that it hasn't been put out before. I got this camera all over the place. My bad, y'all. Well, yeah, it does not mean that at all. Not at all. So we're gonna cap that there, because it'll just be me saying something I done already said, even though I just said it again. So I already said it twice. The WBC is corrupt. They on a multiplicity of levels. I've said all this before, and that's that. The next one was, and I'm gonna say the best for last, the positive Oscar Valdez B sample. Somebody wanted me to talk about that a little bit. I will talk about it a little bit. I'm incredibly disappointed. I was one of the very few people who made a point to point out that A sample, they take a multiple test, so just because an A sample says positive, necessarily that the B sample was. But the B sample was positive from what what was told to me. So I'm gonna say this about it. I'm very disappointed. I was a huge Oscar Valdez fan. This is becoming a theme over at a certain camp. I've already talked about the WBC's marquee guy and his PED history and how his whole joint is in question now. As much as I like Oscar Valdez, I like him a lot. He looked like Not that great his last fight. I finally saw the fight. I wasn't there. I had something else going on, but I did see the fight. I thought he lost. I thought he got a gift decision, and he did not look like Oscar Valdez. He didn't look like Oscar Valdez. But that's when you're messing with PEDs, and these are the highs and lows of that stuff. You are destroying your body. We can see it in your performances. People who really know what they're looking at, we can see it in your performance. We can see it in your performance. I could see it in his performance. I wasn't happy. So no, I'm not happy about any of it. Not at all. But everything that he has done is now in question. And again, that seems to be a running theme. And this is all WBC green. I'll let y'all do the math on that. It's hard to trick Vada. I told you, like I said in my last post, Vada's a little harder to trick. You figure deal me? So I'm disappointed. It's a stain for boxing, but it ain't like that don't happen other places, and it's a stain for sports in general. Not acting like boxing is on some fringe in sports. Mixed martial arts. Oh, we're gonna replace boxing. No, the freak you not. Y'all you got mixed martial artists coming over to box when they want real money. They go box. Come on, man. Didn't Anderson Silva just fight somebody? Or didn't Vitor Belfort just fight somebody? Conor McGregor, I think. Scarface. Want to fight? I want to box. That's where the money is. Money is. Then it was boxing is dead. You know how old a sport boxing is? I may give a tutorial on that one day. Like, come on, man. Boxing, the right fighter, the right two dance partners can generate hundreds of millions of dollars in an evening. That's like WrestleMania over and over and over and over and over again, right? Like the right two dance partners can generate hundreds of millions of dollars in an evening. Hundreds of millions of dollars. The right two can generate hundreds. The wrong two can generate tens of millions of dollars in an evening. I digress. We're talking about Oscar Valdez. I just had this conversation the other night with somebody. So, yeah, I'm very disappointed. I thought he lost his last fight. Yeah, absolutely. It's a gift. Everything's in question now. I know some people better get out of that camp. Just like the UFC dude that UFC fired, and then he wins. They wasn't thinking 2/3 about that dude, that team. They wasn't thinking 2/3 about, especially no MMA dude. The UFC got rid of him, and then they rehired him. He goes on to beat Davison Figueroa, I do believe, becomes a champion in Arizona. Then all of a sudden, he on the team now. I rock with your day ones. Rock with the people who was with you when UFC let you go. Don't let cats ride your wave, cuz. That ain't, come on, man. Come on. Wouldn't get mixed up with that camp, bro. Cats is coming up dirty. Repeat offenders. Some of them anyway. So yeah, I'm mad. I was Oscar Valdez fan. I like Oscar Valdez from around our way, same state. So yeah, absolutely. Don't like it, but it is what it is. Crawford Porter is happening. Ooh, I did a post on this previously. I said if it comes around again, that I would talk about it in length. We are going to do a full breakdown. I do believe like November. I don't know. There's so many people fighting in November. So much stuff going on in November. I don't know. But if they fight in November, yes, I will be in attendance. I will be in attendance for Caleb Plant. If the fight don't get washed, I will be in attendance for Deontay Wilder. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Las Vegas because I will be in attendance for all these events. Porter Crawford, the Truth Machine. Terrence Crawford, pound for pound, number one. This is the test. This is like, this is the test. This is the test. I don't like one fighter doesn't make you or break you, I don't think, but this is the test. And I can't say that Terrence ain't, because he been in there with killers. They just ain't killers with him. Kell Brook. Amir Khan. If it was Kell Brook. I don't remember if it was. Amir Khan. Talking about world champions. Yorkis when he was dangerous. I can't wait to do Terrence Allen. Terrence Allen, Bud Crawford, and Sean Porter's breakdown for their fight. I can't wait to do it. I'm so excited about this. Because it works two ways. If Sean wins, which he's more than capable of doing, then Sean thrusts himself in a spotlight I always felt like he deserved to be. I mean, he's always been mentioned among the top guys at 47, but never the top guy. He's been a multi-time champion, but that ain't saying much these days. There's so many sanctioning bodies you can be. Fighters need to, I'm about to digress, fighters need to get together and decide which ones matter and which ones don't, and stop paying these people money. Stop giving your money away. Y'all, fighters need to decide that. I don't care if it's the NABF. Just make a decision and say, this is who we roll. Everybody be rolling with them. These are the ones that are the measuring stick. How we measure who's best in these weight classes. Okay, let me get back on track. I think I said that earlier too. Yeah. Sean, he's never been. So this is a fantastic opportunity. I don't think he's had the type of fight. I mean, he's had him, but you know, a lot of people in the Thurman fight thought that he won. And some other barn burners we thought he won. A lot of people thought he won. So this is his chance to do that. And against Terrence Crawford, you're going against, in my opinion, the absolute. I don't work for no networks. I don't, no. I may do a top 10 one day. If I was to do a top 10 right now, Terrence Crawford is number one. But for him, this fight is advantageous for him because anybody who say, well, they select. Top Rank don't even like to match black fighters with black fighters, so I don't even know how he pulled this off. But if it go down, when it goes down, Terrence gets to, if he beats Sean Porter, especially in spectacular fashion, or not necessarily spectacular, but if he clearly beats him, let me say, because clearly beating somebody ain't necessarily spectacular. You can edge 10 rounds and win all 10 rounds. You can 10-9 every round and win all 10 rounds. Barely. You beat Sean Porter, then all of these fake, phony lists. Like a fictitious list mean that much to you, Brett? Yes, it does. Acknowledge that he's pound for pound number one. There should be no more debating that until somebody come take that recognition from him. He beat Sean Porter clearly. He has that. Now I know he's on the coincidental list, so that may not happen. But I can poke my chest out if he does that. So 3 questions, 3 answers. It's not my judgment that's in question. It's y'all. Shout out to Battle Troop.